I'm going to touch on one principle today. There are a lot of principles, but I'm going to touch on one. Let's look at Genesis 8. Genesis 8 from 20. Genesis 8 from 20 to 22. It says, Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of the clean animals and clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offerings unto the Lord. The Lord smelled a pleasing aroma and said in his heart, Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all the living things as I have done. Verse 22. There are a lot of principles in verse 22. Let me just make it clear. I'm going to talk about one. This is what God is saying. He says, as long as the heaven and earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, days and night will never cease. Now look at the context. God took up the offering, he smelled the pleasing aroma, and then he proclaimed a blessing. He proclaimed a declaration that as long as there's heaven and earth, I want to talk about seed time and harvest today. It says seed time and harvest will never cease. Now, the principle of seed time and harvest is one of the most ubiquitous and the prominent principle throughout all Scripture. When I saw this, and you start looking at almost every place in Scripture, you see that that's what God is saying. When God says that bad company corrupts good character, seed time and harvest. Bad company, seeding. Harvest, bad character. But you can flip that. Good company, seeding. Results, good character. Or it says that train up your children the way they should grow. What time? Seed time. And the harvest, they will not depart from me. So it's all across Scripture. Seed time and harvest. If you've been in the church for any amount of time, you notice that the principle has been hijacked. And people think it's just about money. No. About money. Of course, there's money there. But it's not about money. It's about your whole life. So I want us to look at that principle. I'm going to look at 5 aspects of seed time and harvest quickly here before we end. The first attribute of the principle of seed time and harvest is that, and these things may come across as pretty simple. You know them. The first is simple. You reap what you sow. It's just that simple. Galatians 6:7. Paul said this, God cannot be deceived. Do not be deceived. That let nobody deceive you. That you cannot mock God. In other words, you cannot neglect a principle that God has established and expect that you'll get a different result. That God cannot be mocked. You're going to reap whatever you sow in any area of your life. Now, what I love about this then is, and when God started teaching me this stuff, I just had, for me, it was just look at every area of your life. If there's an area in which you are not happy with the harvest in which you have today, that's good news. Because all I have to do is, I have to start planting the seeds today for the harvest that I want tomorrow. That's all I have to do. Any area of my life. So like my health, I was planting the seed. That's all I was doing. I'm not happy. I check, it's still high. I'm not happy. It's still high. But after 3 months, the results are different. So I want you to look at any area of your own life that you are not happy. You are not happy with the harvest that you are taking in today. You look at it and say, nah, this is not good harvest. Is it your health like me? Is it your family relationships? Is it your career? Is it your walk with the Lord? Is it the ministry and the dreams and the visions that God has given you? You just have to change. Just say, God, I'm going to obey you. I'm going to start planting the right seeds. Because I know that even if I don't understand it, as our brother Celeste said, even if I don't completely get it, I just have to obey you. I know that the results are guaranteed. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before I start harvesting a different harvest. Because I'm obeying and I'm respecting the principle that God has established. I'm not going to allow myself to suffer and all that I'm just going to obey and apply it. The second thing that I want to draw here is that the principle of seed time and harvest is that neglect is a seed. I just want to make it clear. I neglected my health. I was reading an article on, I think it's either the New York Times or the Guardian, and they said that the most healthy people do not have a treadmill. They don't go to the gym. I think it was about a month or so ago. Because it's just part of their lifestyle. Either they just bike to work. Unfortunately, our winter here makes it very difficult. You know, like they just walk to work for 30 minutes and walk back. That's all. Or they bike to work, or they go to their farms. They don't go to the gym. But the physical activity is just part of their life. If you neglect an area, then you're going to get thorns. I love the scripture in the book of Proverbs that explains this. I'll just read that here. Proverbs 24. Proverbs 24:30. It says, I went past the field of a sluggard, past the vineyard of someone who has no common sense. Thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. I applied my heart to what I observed, and I learned a lesson from what I saw. You know, the people of God are people who learn lessons from other people. It says, I learned. Now, this guy had a farm. He had a garden, and he neglected it. Verse 33, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of hands to rest, and poverty will come on you like a thief, and scarcity like an armed man. Other version says scarcity will come like a bandit. He will jump on you. He neglected. He had everything, but he neglected it. He didn't tender to it. So if you don't do anything in certain areas, you're also planting a seed. The fact is that you're planting nothing, and therefore you not get anything. You not get anything. The next attribute of a seed time and harvest is that we reap the same kind. Now, I've never seen someone plant mango and harvest banana. Maybe you have. I would like to come and see that farmer. You reap the same kind. You reap the same kind. I think I've touched here on the aspect of training our kids. Our kids are the next generation of the kingdom. The next generation. Can I just encourage you, parents? Don't allow social media or TV parent your kid. I know it's easy. I have 2 kids. It's easy. But be very careful. Be very careful. I'm not saying that social media is bad or TV is bad. But be very careful. You have to know what your kids do on their tablet, if they have one, on the computer, and what they watch on TV. Because that is seed time, my brothers. And it's not going to be the fault of God. If you allow the enemy sow the wrong seeds into your kids, it is our responsibility as parents. And we have to be diligent to bring them up in the way of the Lord. The next, we reap in a different season. Now, seed time and harvest demands some patience. Do not become as impatient like Jacob, like me. I ran for 1 week and I expected to see things to stop. And I was disappointed. And for us, at times, that's where we give up. We say, no, this does not work. I tried it. Now, I have never seen a farmer plant oranges or mango or grapes today and they reap the next week. No. It's a process. They tender the farm. They know there is planting season and they wait at least 3, 4 months, 5 months, depending on then they get a harvest. So don't just go and try this one and say, Brother Jacob came and deceived us here. I went and I tried this. I did it for 2, 3 weeks. No. You need patience. Remember, you just have to be consistent. Seed time and harvest requires consistency. Just be consistent. Doing the same thing. Doing the same thing. That's all I do. Now, exercise has just become part of my routine. In fact, there's somehow, they say when you exercise a lot, your body becomes somehow addicted to it. I don't have to remind myself, just go and exercise. At first, it was a burden. It was a burden. I have to be honest with you. But because I've been doing it now for almost 10 months or so, it's just a routine. I just go and I exercise. No issue. In fact, the first time The first week, my kids can confess, I could not run for more than 5 minutes. I had to rest. I was so unfit. Honestly, every 5 minutes I rest. So I had 2 minutes break in between my 5 minutes to hit 30 minutes. I'll run for 5 minutes, I'll rest for 2 minutes, I continue. Now, I just jog continuously for 30 minutes plus. You understand? I just jog continuously. But it takes perseverance. It takes consistency. Don't give up easily. Don't give up easily. The last thing I want to say about this is, and this is just so beautiful, God is just so gracious. We reap more than we sow. You know, I've never seen someone plant 1 kernel of corn and they reap 1 kernel of corn. No, I'm just asking you, if you've seen it, I would like to see. You reap more than you sow. If you take 1 comb of corn and you just plant that, man, you're going to have like 1,000 cone of corns at the end. 1,000. 1,000. That's how gracious God is. God showed me this. There are certain things, the way, we interact with our kids, the way I interact with my wife, the way I interact with my health, my career, everything. Because for me, it's just so exciting. I don't have to do anything else. It's the word of the Lord. I know the results are guaranteed and predictable. Just so beautiful. I'm not going to see, God is a God of miracle. And as Jesus said, I'm not going to neglect the principles that he has put in place, and then I'm tempting God that God give me a miracle. Be blessed.